What up, y'all? You know it's Cliff. What's happening? Hey, I try to go through my comments and if somebody has a request or something, I always try to do a video for them. And I had a guy ask me about the medical care, and I'm just gonna tell it like it is. Just yeah, that's the way I do, y'all. I just tell what I seen when I was there. But when I was there, the medical care it wasn't that good. They actually, I remember, I think it was just like a couple years after I had got out that they had uh, took away the contract from the people that were doing it when I was there, and they hired a new company or whatever to do it. But I'll tell you, man, the healthcare thing's jacked up in Alabama prison. Let me tell you what they do to you, and then if y'all, some of y'all's got in family, kids, or brothers, anybody that's an inmate, and they call you and they say, "Hey, listen, don't put money on my books. Put it on this guy's books because I had to do a nurse call." Because what happens is, and I'm gonna get to the health to the, but let me finish it. So what happens is say you got a sinus infection, but you ain't got no money on your books, and you make a nurse call and they call you down and give you some medicine and all that, well, they charge you for that visit. All right. Well, since you ain't got no money to pay for it, they put it on your account as a negative balance. Well, say you got a $8 negative balance for the medical care, and somebody puts $20 on your books. Guess what happens right off the ripper? That $8 comes out first, and you only got 12. So now, what if you owed somebody $20 and you told them, "Hey, man, it's on there. My mama's fixing to put it on there right now," but you didn't think about them nurse calls, and then now you $8 short on somebody. I mean, that it's simple as that. That's how it can be done down there. That's how. But um, yeah, they like I know people that had been there for years and they had been sick, a bunch of times to where they owed like $40 or $50. So if they got any money at all, they would have to get somebody like that didn't get money or something, and be like, "Look, man, I'll get my mama or whoever to put this on your books, and then I'll cut you, $5 or whatever off of it, and you let me use your name or your AIS number." You got to make sure that it's somebody, that one of your homies, one of your partners. Um, so yeah, I know a lot of people call and make excuses to get high and stuff, but they do charge you if you go to doctor and nurse calls and stuff, and then they take that money before they do anything. They make sure they get theirs, or that's how they did when I was there. If you owed any kind of medical or anything like that, they took that first thing when somebody put money on your books. But the healthcare, um, man, they didn't they they want to put they'll put you on blood pressure medicine and anything else. When I was there, they just gave you Advil. And I'm gonna tell y'all a story that was messed up. I think I've told it in a previous video, but you know how I said, like, you just see the craziest stuff in prison. Like, just like when I said I was just walking by myself one day, and I see uh, a dude and a cop over there with a broom, and the dude they fighting, and I'm like, what the. All right, well, I'm walking another day. I'm out there walking across the thing, and here comes two dudes, and they had a guy in between them, and he was on. They was toting him, one on each side. Another guy was hanging in the middle, and y'all, his legs was drawn up, and his arms and stuff. Like, I mean, seriously, this dude was in like a seizure or damn, what do they call? Oh man, I can't even think of it. Where you mouth and anyway, where your jaw gets numb or whatever. Damn it, it's the simplest medical term. Anyway, um, Anyway, dude was seized up, man. I mean, he was in bad shape, and it was like 100 degrees outside. And I was like, man, I was like, what? I was like, is he all right? And they was like, we're going to medical with him now. And I was like, what? You know, is he having a seizure or something? They was like, we don't know, man. And well, you know, they go on past me with him to medical, and I go on to the dorm. Man, I'm not in the dorm 10 minutes, and here they come toting him back and laid him on his rack, and I was like, hey, I was like, what the hell, man? I said, what? They was like, man, they gave him 2 Advil and sent him back, and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? And that dude, man, he was messed up, man. Like, he needed to be put in an ambulance and took to the hospital, like seriously. Um, but they don't do all that. Um, and then here's what's crazy, man. You know, here you see a guy like that that's all messed up, and then they won't even treat him. And then when I was at Pickens County, from man, we didn't get no sunlight at all, like except for that one time when they burned us to death. But I started having little spots come up when I would read. I was noticing these little blurry spots, and so when I got to Ventress, I told them, you know, hey, I'm having these spots. So they took me to Kilby one day, and they let me see the eye doctor there at Kilby. Well, he filled out a form and he said that he wanted me to go to see a doctor, a free world doctor. And, you know, I was like, all right. So they took me back to Ventress. And then I guess it was about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks later, they come got me one morning and they was like, hey, Bubba, get up. You got to go on a doctor call today. And I was like, what? And they was like, yeah, Security Services. Yeah, I think that was her name. Security Services is here to get you. And Security Services had a contract with the state of Alabama, and they would come and do stuff like that, take people to doctor's appointments or whatever. And it was a sheriff's deputy from, excuse me, Greene County, and then it was a woman who was just become a sheriff's deputy at Greene County, and they were on their off day, and I guess that's what they done for work. But they come and got me and took me to a free world doctor in Dothan. From Clayton, Alabama, they took me down to Dothan. And I'm thinking, you know, that's crazy. A man comes in there, has a seizure or whatever, and y'all won't even treat him. And then, you know, I fill out a form, something simple as, my eyes got some blurry spots, and they take me right out to a doctor, and I'm thinking, ain't this crazy? Like I would have rather that dude went and me get to go when I got home, you know. But they did. They took me twice. Took me all the way to Kilby one day, and then turned around and took me all the way to Dothan one day. And then here's a guy that having a seizure, and they give him two Advil or ibuprofen, whatever, and send him back, man. That was their answer for everything. Two Advil, and you'll be all right, you know. Or they'll stick you on blood pressure medicine. Um, but yeah, the healthcare was not that great. I know dudes that would, uh, they would, they would go down there and try to hit on the nurses, and cause don't get me wrong, a lot of dudes succeed at that in prison. They can get in there and find a nurse, and they'll talk it up, and she'll do something, you know. I mean, it happens all the time, and so they they get to going down there though a bunch, trying, you know, fooling with that woman, and the next thing you know, you owe $150 in medical costs, and then you can't get no money at all on your books, you know, or you got to pay that off. And you know, I seen a dude one day. He was raising hell. He's like, man, I've been down there trying to mess with that hoe. He was like, man, now I owe him $100 and something. And I got, and it was funny, but yeah, the healthcare wasn't that great. And it was long wait times, man. I mean, long, like you might have an appointment down there with them, you know, put in a nurse call and they tell you, all right, be down here on so and so at 10 a.m. or something. And then you get down there and it might be 11:30 or 12 before you go back there, you know, uh, and it was always packed, man, always packed. And but yeah, the healthcare wasn't great at all. But I think somebody took it over, another company. Um, But I know they don't like taking you. I know they don't like taking you out to you know to hospitals and stuff. I mean, I think if you get stabbed up or whatever, they might. But um, if you just having a seizure or something or something like that, they man, I was in the Madison County Jail. They come running in there and run up the steps. Dude was on the very end. They go running up the steps, had an oxygen tank and everything. Dude was down there, he was dying, had a heart attack. They go running down there, and all of a sudden you hear tink, 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 and the damn paramedic dropped the metal oxygen tank, and that son of a gun hit every dadgum step on the way down. They had to go back down there and get it. That dude ended up dying, but that like I said, that was in the county. But yeah, in prison, you just hope you didn't get sick. I mean, that was like seriously. I remember we used to sit and talk about it. Like, man, just you gotta hope that you stay healthy through it because if you get sick, they don't give um. That's like John. You take John Gotti for an example. The government hated him so bad that he probably, I've read articles and stuff where he probably could have uh, got that neck cancer or throat cancer or whatever fixed. But the Bureau, Federal Bureau of Prisons or whatever, they, they wanted to punish him, so they denied him outside medical care, until they knew it was too late. And then once they knew it was too late, then they tried to be like, whatever. But yeah, they basically did that on purpose to Gotti. But what happens is these like the people that do the health care in Alabama, like it's some like when I was there, it was some kind of people or some uh, medical group out of South Carolina or somewhere, and then they get these big contracts, and then they'll come and do their thing or whatever. Um, but sometimes you get a nice nurse, you know what I mean? They might be cool with you, and then sometimes you might draw one that was just, you know, I guess. What's in again? I guess they put up with a lot of stuff, but it yeah, the healthcare was about like the food, like um, mm, yeah, I don't know, um, like I said, you just want to hope that you don't get sick and stuff while you in there, because like I said, they ain't fond on taking you and getting you outside care like you need and all that. Um, so yeah, and like I said, if y'all got family that say, "Hey, man, uh, I've been to the doctor 3 or 4 times, and they got, they gonna take money from me or whatever, so they probably telling the truth on that, um, I know a lot of people run scam or whatever, to get money, but if they tell you that they owe for nurse calls or whatever, and from talking to them that they've been sick and stuff, then they probably telling you the truth because I'm gonna tell you one thing about the state, they gonna get their cut off the ripper for anything's done. If somebody puts money on your books, the first thing they do is check and see if you owe anything to the state, and if you do, they gonna take that, and like say you owe 80, somebody puts 50 on your books, guess what? You got $0, buddy. Actually, and you 30 in the hole still. So if somebody goes and puts another 50 on, you ain't gonna give it $20. So if, like, that's why I always tried to I would just pay for my nurse call, because you can pay for it out of your books or whatever, and I would just pay for it as I like. If I needed to go, I would just pay it instead of putting it on the charge because I didn't want to owe them nothing. Um, because I'm telling you, they gonna take theirs right off the bat, buddy. But then again, now I don't know how this new uh the people that took it over after the ones when I was there. I don't know how they do. I want to try to get some people and some inmates. I know, man. Like I know, I mean, it's just how it is. I know some people's got some phones, and I'd like to, or if nothing else, I'll even put money on my phone so somebody can call from the Blue Devil. Um, you know, I, but I'd like to. have some inmates. I'd like to get in touch with some inmates, and I think I got a little plan. I was thinking the other night. There's an inmate in Alabama, um, and I'm gonna write him a letter, and I'm gonna see if he'll do a call in and let me record it. And I don't know if he will or not, man. But if he does, it'll be a good one. Um, but I'm gonna write him a letter, and I'm just gonna tell him the truth. Like, look, man, this is what I'm doing. I'd love for you to call in. I'll pay for the call, and I'll probably even agree to, throw him a little money on his books or something. Um, I mean, hey, you can't, but yeah, I'm gonna that's what I want to do. I want to get some inmates to call in and tell me, because uh, like I said, some things have changed since I've been there. I'd like to get know exactly what all has changed and all that. I thought I had a buddy that was gonna call, but he was too close to getting out. And we both agreed, like, no, just don't even worry about it, man, because I'd hate for you to get caught trying to help me, and get bammed up right there before you get out. So we was just like, no, let's just call that off, and no, we won't worry about it. Um, so yeah, he had done made parole. It wasn't no sense in trying to, you know, get him to call with it, going home within a month. So, but yeah, man, listen, all y'all got to do is get in the comments and ask me whatever. I'll tell y'all, man. Man, listen, I appreciate all the people. Y'all people from Australia and New Zealand, man, I'm gonna tell you, y'all rock, dude. That's cool that y'all all the way across the world, man, watching my videos and stuff. Um, yeah, that's wild. And not only them, everybody else, man. Y'all been, yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you what, y'all been the best audience I've ever seen, for real, man. I've got the most positive feedback. I'm like, for real, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all. I mean, for real, everybody. I mean, now when I did some of that Whitaker stuff, um, you know, I got a little hate or whatever, but um, man, I tell you what, them folks on that Whitaker family, man, those folks are running them old videos. I mean, they still running them and getting getting the likes. But hey, on a real note, I was thinking about this morning. Let me tell y'all who's really took advantage of a situation and is racking up some money on views. Is Candace Owens. When what's his name got shot, she worked for him and they were friends or whatever, and so man, she started busting them videos out, dude, and they was doing numbers. I was thinking, man, I bet her monthly check's gonna be fat, boy. Um, because like I said, she was heated up about it, and and she got some conspiracy, or she thinks certain things and all that. But I'm not talking on the political aspect of it, because I don't want to do politics on my channel. I'm just talking about like on the views, like she's supposed to rack up this month, buddy, because I know I've watched a bunch of her videos she made, um, clicked on them and stuff where she was going off, man, and I would look at the views and they would be like, 700, 800,000 views. And she was putting them out every day, so I was like, boy, her damn bank account gonna be thick come the end of the month, or whenever it is. But anyway, man, I enjoy y'all. Listen, y'all don't even know, for real. Um, y'all, like I said, y'all stay in the comments, man. I'll stay in there with y'all. I love interacting with y'all, and I appreciate everything y'all do, all the advice. For real, a lot of y'all have given me tips on stuff I didn't even know, and I was like, man, I'm glad they told me that. So, uh, man, I'm grateful for y'all, for real. So, all right, I hope y'all have a good day.